I want to ask you a question. What's the best thing you've ever found? All right? What's the best thing you've ever found? I want you to turn to the person next to you. Just share something you found recently. Maybe it's a £10 note down the back of the sofa, an old photo, something brilliant on YouTube. Go on. What have you found? Go on. Anybody found anything exciting? Yeah, Graham. What? You found your wife. Well done. That was a miracle. What else? What else? Anybody found anything interesting? Found your parents? A full box of live ammunition. Don't go near Mark later on. Look, we've all found something exciting, and we love finding things, don't we? And we love stories. And Jesus tells a few in the Bible, and in Luke chapter 15, they're all about things that have been lost and found. A sheep wanders off, the shepherd searches, finds it, throws a party. A coin goes missing, a woman sweeps the house, finds it, throws a party. And in the third story, it's the one we're going to look at, it's not sheep or a coin, it's something far more precious, it's a son. And in this story, Jesus is going to show us not only the heart of God, but it's also actually a brilliant picture of what baptism is all about. Somebody who was lost and now found. Somebody who was far off has been brought home. Lydia's going to come and read to us from the Bible. It'll come up behind me here on the screen. But let's just hear this story together. Thank you.
I don't have a loud enough voice to shout. The parable of the lost son. Jesus continued, "There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to his father, 'Father, give me my share of the estate.' So he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the younger son got together all he had and set off for a distant country, and there squandered his wealth in wild living. After he had spent everything, there was a severe famine in that whole country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country, who sent him to his fields to feed pigs. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. When he came to his senses, he said, 'How many of my father's hired servants have food to spare, and here I am starving to death? I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants.' So he got up and went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. The son said to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son.' But the father said to his servants, 'Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fatted calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found.' So they began to celebrate. Meanwhile, the older son was in the field, and when he came near the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called one of the servants and asked him what was going on. 'Your brother has come,' he replied, 'and your father has killed the fattened calf because he has him back safe and sound.' The older brother became angry and refused to go in, so his father went out and pleaded with him. But he answered his father, 'Look, all these years I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never even gave me a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours, who has squandered your property with prostitutes, comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him.' 'My son,' the father said, 'you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad, because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found.'"
Thanks, Lydia, very much indeed. Well, the first scene opens with a bit of a shock. A son walks away from his father, and not quietly. Did you notice that? There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to his father, "Father, give me my share of the estate. When do you usually get your share of the estate? Yeah, somebody's got to die, right? What's he saying? Look, old man, I can't wait for you to peg it. I want my money and I want it now. Do you see what he's saying? He's really saying, I wish you were dead. I wish you were dead. What a terrible thing to say to your father. So he gets the money transferred to his bank account. I don't know, he books a Ryanair to Magaluf and he goes. And you don't need me to picture, do you, what wild living looks like. But he squanders all his wealth. And eventually he's got nothing. And that's why he's called the prodigal son. Prodigal, wasteful, extravagant. Jesus says he squandered his wealth in wild living. And so he spent everything. It's all gone along with the good time friends. The bank's taken the penthouse apartment back. His BMW's been reclaimed, phone cut off, no Instagram. He's desperate. What am I going to do? How am I going to live? And so what he does is he finds himself a 0-hour contract feeding pigs. And that, to us, right, that just sounds, well, a bit smelly. But for somebody who's Jewish, it was far worse. It's shameful. Pigs were dirty. You didn't even eat pork, let alone feed pigs. And now, things have got so bad, he's eating pig food. What Jesus is saying is all of us have done what this guy did. We may not have said to God, I wish you were dead. But often we live life as if he is. We're not interested in what he thinks about our decisions, our plans, our goals, our dreams. We just do it. And that's what the Bible means when it talks about that little word sin. See, it's not just about losing your temper in traffic, cheating on your taxes, or sleeping around. It's much deeper than that. See, those are all the results of sin, not the root. Sin is living as if God were dead and as if your way were the right way. And we all do it, right? All of us. I make stupid decisions again and again and again. I hurt those I love the most. I damage friendships. And ultimately, it all just ends up damaging me. And every now and again, I've had this a few times during my life, we just despair of it, don't we? We just despair. And I wonder if this morning you're feeling like that. You're in the pig trough, you've done things you're not proud of, and you feel wretched. You're at the end of yourself. Well, listen to what happens next. The youngest son, we're told, comes to his senses. At last, he's starting to think straight. This is the turning point. He goes back in his mind. He remembers life with his father, where even the servants had food to spare. And then thoughts start to form. I can't go back as a son. I've blown that. But maybe I could go back as a servant. Maybe I could earn my keep and pay off my debt to my father. 20, 30 years, I guess that's what I'm going to have to do. So he gets out his laptop, he makes a presentation, and he heads home. And here comes the twist. The son has got to the point where he's ready to grovel. But before he can say a word, the father runs to him. While he was still a long way off, his father saw him. That is so amazing, isn't it? You'd expect the story to go. The son came home. He rang the doorbell. The father answered and said, "You? Well, you've got a cheat coming back here after all you've done. Clear off and never want to see your face again. Get lost." Right? While he was still a long way off. Every day since he's left, the father's looking for him. And when he sees him, he does something that no kind of Middle Eastern old respected man would ever do. He throws off his cloak. Literally, he pulls up his underpants and he runs as fast as he can towards his son. And when he gets there, the son brings out his laptop and tries to show him the presentation. "Father, I've sinned. I'm not worthy. Let me be your slave. Let me pay it off." And the father, well, he's not listening. He just throws his arms around his son and kisses him. He wants him back, not as a slave, but as a son. And so he puts that robe on him. He puts the ring back on his finger. He kills the fattened calf. He calls the whole community, come on, we've got to celebrate. Do you see what Jesus is showing us? He's showing us the very heart of God right here. That's how God feels about you today. Not reluctant, not arms folded, but running, embracing, forgiving. He knows everything you've ever done. And he loves you. Have you ever met a God like this? A God whose love never gives up, never gives out. Can you point anywhere to a God like that? Because in this story, see, it's not just the son who's the prodigal, right? The father is prodigal too. Prodigal with his love. He's extravagant. He pours it out. The son was lost and now he's found. Isn't that great? That's what it means when we talk about being saved by Jesus. To be found. That's what it means to be a follower of Jesus, a Christian. To be brought back home, not as a servant, not as a slave, but as a son, as a daughter. And my question to you is, have you experienced that love yet? Do you know it? I think most of us think freedom is being as far away from God as we possibly can and doing whatever we want to do, right? But that's rubbish. Real freedom is coming home. Real freedom is being found in the Father's arms, wrapped around you in a bear hug. And you can be found this morning. Anyone in this room can. All you got to do is speak to your Father. It's not difficult. Father, I'm so sorry. I've been living all my life as if you were dead. I have screwed up everything. Thank you so much that in Jesus, you run towards me. Please forgive me. I want to try and go your way from now on, and you've got to help me. I want to be part of your family. Is that great? That's all you got to do. That's what Verity and Leon have said. What about you? Right now, God is waiting. He's looking. He's searching. He's waiting for you to come back. But you think, hang on, it sounds rather easy, doesn't it? Can God forgive me just like that? No, of course he can't. It's not cheap. Somebody has to pay. When the Father runs to embrace the Son, we see his grace poured out freely, but it comes at a cost. And that cost was paid by Jesus. Jesus went far away so that we could be brought close. He took our shame, our rebellion, our pigsty past, if you like, and he carried it to the cross. He was cast out so we could be welcomed in. It comes at a cost. The question is, will you take him up on that? Just when we think the story's over, Jesus has one more scenario, one more scene. There's another son, and actually, he's just as lost. The older son became angry when he hears about the younger son being accepted back, and he refused to go into the party. Do you see what we got? We got the bad younger son in the house with his father, and the good older son out in the darkness, refusing to go in. Why? Well, it's obvious. He doesn't think this brat deserves it. All these years I've been slaving for you, Father, and I've never disobeyed your orders. And that is so interesting, because that is how he really sees his relationship with his father. Now he's being honest. Slavery. He's worked hard. He's kept his nose clean. And the father's job to look after him, right? To do nice stuff for him. But now he's furious because the younger son's done nothing. Worse, he's done everything wrong, and the father still loves him and kills the fatted calf. And maybe that's you. Perhaps you're here, and actually you call yourself religious. You'd never put it like this. But you hate God. Because you can never do enough to please him. Or you hate him because you've been good. You've kept your side of the bargain, and he's not kept his side. He's let you down and he's disappointed you. And you hate him, if you're being honest. Jesus is saying it's quite possible to do lots of good things and still be lost. The younger son, I get this from Tim Keller, it's so helpful. The younger son was lost in his badness. We can all see that, right? The older son was lost in his goodness. The younger son's bad deeds kept him from his father's arms. The older son's good deeds kept him from his father's arms. And so the father, because he loves both of his sons, does something also unheard of. He leaves his own party. He goes out to the older son and he begs him to come in. My son, the father said, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. He is found. Right? The younger son was lost and is found. What about the older son? Well, we don't know. And Jesus leaves the whole story with this question hanging. Because the only one who can answer it is us. Those of us who are listening to him. See, here's the question. Who are you in this story? Are you the younger son realizing you need to come back today? Come back home? Well, you can. We've seen the Father's arms are open wide. The only thing stopping you coming back is you. Or are you the older son thinking it's your performance that keeps you in the house? Come to the party. Let your hair down. Let grace, God's sheer loving kindness, amaze you. Who are you? Are you lost in your badness? Are you lost in your goodness? Or have you been found? And if you have been found, the question, I think, there's another question kind of we're left thinking about is, will you go and find others? Because isn't that what the older brother should have done? Oh, son, I don't know what's happened. I mean, your brother's just come. He's just said, I don't want to know you. I want your money. And he's left and he's gone off to a far land. I'd go after him, but I can't. I've got to look after things. It's all right, Father. I'll do it. I'll go. I'll go anywhere. I'll go anywhere and I will find him and I will bring him back to you. That's what Jesus said. The true older brother. He left heaven to come to this earth and to find us. And that's what his followers do. We go anywhere. We do anything. We bear any shame, any pain to persuade people to come back. And that's what baptism sends us out to do, doesn't it? Let us celebrate and be glad because this brother of yours was dead and he's alive again. He was lost and he was found. Verity and Leon were lost. They've been found. Do we want to kind of stop there? No. We want many others to be found. Maybe you this morning.